one of our Barrett brothers, Big Dog of the Valley winners. This one coming from Beaver Local again, their second win of the year for the volleyball team, and it is Brooke Talbot joining us. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, we love our talks with Beaver Local volleyball. It seems like they're having it more and more.
Yeah.
So
As
let's talk about this community before we dive into your season and everything. Obviously, they're once again able to vote you guys the top of this big dogs list. What does it mean to have this Beaver Local community back you guys up the way they do, and know that when you guys get on the list or whatever you guys are doing, they are supporting you in folds.
It's honestly really cool to have the whole community voting for you and rooting for you. And like you don't really notice like how many people really back you up, but whenever you win like a big dog of the valley or like any type of award, like your community is backing you up and it is really nice to have that kind of support.
talking about that community a little bit, describe to me, because I haven't had the opportunity to witness it yet this season. But we know what Coach Lowe's program does over there. But explain to me what it's like being in a Beaver Local volleyball game and the kind of support and energy you guys kind of get game to game now, because you guys now two big dog winners on the court. So there's definitely a lot of support for the volleyball team in Beaver Local.
Well, starting with like our student section, this year has really stepped up a lot just with how um, just a couple weeks ago, Grace Hill was nominated for Big Dog of the Week and she won. And now there's a chant that like you can't climb the hill in our student section. And that really pumps us up. And then all of our parents just cheering us all on and including all the coaches, whenever we all do something great, like you can hear all of them on the sidelines, like cheering us on and just supporting us. And it's really nice to be a part of the program.
Well, now they're gonna have to make up a chat for Brooke Talbot because you're the second winner of Barrett Brothers Big Dog of the Valley. So they're gonna have to come up with a student section chant for you as well. This team has put together such an incredible season, and when you look at the stats for this whole team, it's so balanced. Like you're getting contributions from everyone on the court. Talk about what it's like to play on a team like that, where you don't have one superstar, you don't have one player getting 400 kills or anything like that. You have a bunch of players that are just going out and executing their role.
It's really nice being a setter. You have all of those options. You don't have to just set one person. And you can kind of trust anyone on the court to make a good play on the ball. And it's really nice to have a program like that because if you have the one player, they might have an off game and then your whole team just goes down. But with Beaver Local, we have 6 all around players on the court. And then we also have our whole sidelines that could be ready to go in at any position, which is really nice.
A follow up to that, since you are a setter and you have so many players that can hurt people on offense, how do you balance spreading out the ball to so many players, but also trying to find out who's hot that night and who has the hot hand and trying to get them as many sets as possible?
Kind of seeing how their body language is on the court because you can kind of notice, I'm sure in this on or in the stands, you can kind of see who's like in their head the most. And it's the same on the court. You can see which one's in their head. And typically if you're in your head more, you're not going to be putting the ball down as much. So you kind of choose whichever one's not in their head as much.
Looking at this too, and you being the centerpiece of the offense, and we talk about how there's not really that one player that has all the kills, and it's more of a balanced attack. Talk to me then, because since it is such a balanced attack, you guys must have a fantastic chemistry with each other, and I think Coach Lowe has highlighted this and how close the Beaver Local community and volleyball family is. But to hear it outside from a coach's perspective and from a player's perspective, what is that family and that Beaver Local volleyball chemistry kind of like with not only your coaches but the other players as well?
We are all best friends on and off the court. We all talk throughout the school day, like in our group chats, and we all sit together at lunch. And just before the OVAC match, the final match, we had a Zumba with the whole team. And it was just kind of a really good bonding experience because we've done it multiple times throughout my 4 years of high school. And it really brings us all together and just kind of shows us like what a true family is in volleyball.
Let's talk about Coach Lowe. We've had her on the show several times. We get to obviously know why that she is so respected in the volleyball community. Talk to us about what it's like being under her and maybe some things that we as media members don't get to see of her outside of what we see on the sidelines.
She really does care about each and every player, and she tells us that we're all like her kids, and she treats us all like her kids. She has very high expectations of every one of us, and she knows what we're all capable of. And if we're not putting our best foot forward, she really gets on us about it. And it's really nice to have a coach that cares about you that much.
Talk about getting these honors too, and I mean, obviously, you look at your senior year, and you look at everything you've been able to do with Beaver Local Volleyball, and giving a reflection a little bit about what you've been able to do, not only with the volleyball, just being in Beaver Local's community. Just give a little bit of a reflection about your Beaver Local experience, both on the volleyball court and outside in the classroom as well.
It is really nice to be at Beaver Local and having all of the opportunities that we get, and just like through the teachers, like how willing they are to help. It's just really nice that we can go to any teacher and talk about any problems that we have, and including with volleyball, any of the coaches are willing to help you with anything that you need help with, and it's just really nice to have that kind of backup.
Have there been any teachers specifically throughout your high school career that have really helped mold you into not just the athlete you are, the person you are, but the student you are as well right now?
Carrie Miller, she is definitely like my backbone. I don't know what I would do without her.
Taking a step away a little bit from the reflection and looking back onto the volleyball court now, no doubt you guys 19-3 on the season, one of the best premier volleyball teams I think in the area. Going into these playoffs now, looking at what this team has been able to do and so successful, so tough all season, what are some improvements that you think the team needs to make to just try to get better and push them through this tournament?
Definitely getting in our heads. That is a big component in how the scores kind of end. And I feel like the placement of the ball, we have been doing a lot better with that. But whenever we get into those big competitions with the better teams, I feel like placing the ball is going to be kind of one of our biggest strengths that we need to have. Because whenever you're up against that strong defense and the strong block, you're going to have to know where their holes are to score your points.
Tournament games are much more spread out than regular season games. Might have a game on Tuesday, then you might have another game on Saturday, whatever it may be. What's it going to be? How important is that going to be for this team to get practice time in the gyms between games and be able to really work on stuff that they saw, and something that you don't really get to do during the season? You might have 3 games a week and not really get a lot of practice time. Now for tournament time, you really get to work on the things that you saw from match to match, and you'll have legitimate gym time to get in and work on them.
Definitely having that practice time is going to help us. During that rut that we had where we lost a couple matches in a row, that's whenever we weren't having those practice times. And I feel like getting in that gym and having the practice time to work on our weaknesses and capitalize on our strengths, that's going to be a big component to how our tournaments turn out.
Talking about it from an upperclassman's perspective, and I think one of the most impressive things that Coach Lowe has been able to do is constantly keeping talent flowing through this program. So that way it never has a lapse year. It's constantly competitive. Talk to me about some younger players, freshmen, sophomores that you've seen from a volleyball player's perspective that have really surprised you this season, and that you think with even maybe a little bit of work can really push themselves to be that superstar.
I don't really have an in particular underclassmen. I feel like all of them contribute a lot to our volleyball program. Even just scrimmaging against our varsity team, like, it's just all coming together as one. Like, I don't really know how to word it, but there's not one player that is better than the other. We're all equally good.
Which makes sense too, because we look at the volleyball team, Anthony, and we see they're pretty good all over the spot as well.
Brooke, before we let you go, tell us, do you have any like pregame routines that you like to stick to, or pregame routines that if you don't do, you're gonna feel off for the whole match?
I'm sure a lot of people notice this, but I always wear my hair in this one weird bun. And whenever I don't wear it in that bun, I either play really bad or like last time I didn't wear it, I hurt my ankle. That's definitely one that I have to do.
I didn't want to bring it up until you did, but yeah, it's a very unique hairstyle that you kind of rock out for the games. Where did that come up? Did you just kind of, were you messing around with your hair one day and went, this looks good, let's go with that?
I noticed that whenever I was wearing a ponytail, that my hair would get caught in my eyes. So I kind of just, a lot of people do it. I've seen it at a bunch of volleyball tournaments. And I was like, I wonder if that'll keep my hair out of my eyes. And it actually did. So I stuck with it.
All right, Brooke, you and Grace Hill, both winners of Baird Brothers Big Dog of the Valley. Now you're both up for Baird Brothers Player of the Year. How is Beaver Local going to pick who to vote for?
I don't know. It's going to be a tough pick.
Oh my God, they're gonna break our systems is what they're gonna do. We're gonna have to reinforce our systems. Jeez. But no, absolutely. We've been definitely excited to talk to you, Brooke. And I mean, we know that your career at Beaver Local has been one of the impressive ones. We're excited to see you guys featured in the playoffs. And I guess my final question for you, just kind of give us a little bit of insight on what your plans are kind of after high school. What are you kind of thinking of? It doesn't need to be career-wise or anything. It could just be kind of what are some plans, things you want to do after high school?
I am going to Thiel College, and I'm going to be playing volleyball. And I do plan on going for early childhood education. And that's about it.
Well, congratulations on that commitment to Teal. I saw you posted that last week. You're going to be joining a couple of other familiar faces in the YSN family, Maria Torres and Katie Stamp and Danielle Olet also down there that represented YSN so well for the last 4 years. So congratulations on that commitment, and we look forward to continuing and following your career in this tournament run. Good luck on everything you do.
Thank you.